Welcome to ISE's Equity Index Weekly Outlook, a weekly outlook on ISE and other industry indexes, hosted by Patrick Ceresna, a derivative market specialist and investment manager with extensive expertise in options and the broader derivative markets. ISE trades options on more than 15 proprietary sector indexes, as well as broad-based indexes and a variety of licensed benchmarks. ISE continually enhances its trading systems and develops new index options products to provide investors with the best marketplace and investment tools to trade smarter.
Hello and welcome to the ISE Equity Index Outlook for July 13th, 2009. This is Patrick Ceresna. First off, I want to take a look at the S&P 500 using the Spider Exchange Traded Fund symbol SPY. And more or less at this stage, we've got a completion of the pattern that we've been looking for the last couple of weeks, which was a final test down into that 86-88 zone. So now that we've gotten the testing and support holding in this area, the question becomes, what do we expect now? If we were to listen to the broader media and all the junior technicians out there, the most common thing that everyone's looking for is this head and shoulders top. And they more or less are anticipating a breakdown of the head and shoulders top to see an accelerated move down to the 82, 81, 80 level on the downside. The one thing that I've known, at least from the years that I've watched the market, is that when something is so well advertised and so well watched, very few times does it actually play out like everyone expects. And therefore, the fact that this is so actively being promoted, it certainly diminishes the likelihood of it actually occurring. So if that scenario is actually not the likely outcome, then the reality is that we may be looking at it returning back to the top end of the trade range bound market. And that's the scenario that we're putting more strength behind at this stage. The one thing I do want to stress, even though we do believe that this is the likely scenario, if we were to break below the 86 level, it really throws this model right out. So we actually are a very important key focal area where at this point, if we're going to stay range bound, it's going to happen from here. And if we're going to break down, it's also going to break all we need is a little push off the side of this cliff, and then it'll accelerate on the downside. So at this stage, I'm favoring this trade range bound market. But as soon as we have any technical breaks with any, especially if it comes on volume and with accelerated selling down below 86, at that stage we have to look at the pattern actually playing out down into that 79.81 focal point on the downside. Next here, I want to take a look at the ISE US Regional Banks Index, which is the symbol JLO, and the 15 to 16 focal point continues to hold as the selling here is very methodical and never really accelerated at any stage. If in fact the S&P does hold in these support levels, then we should get a bounce off this 15-16 zone. And otherwise, if we are looking at another leg of a bear market coming in, then that's when we'll see the acceleration down below. So really, we're waiting for the S&P to give us its clue which direction it's going to go, and then we're going to follow suit with our trades on this play. Next here, I want to take a look at the ISE Syndex, which is a symbol SIN. This is an index of all the casino, tobacco, and distiller companies. One thing that we've been looking for was a move all the way down into that 75-77 zone on the downside, and really we never got that. The selling was very shallow and holding in that 83-86 support line. If in fact the markets do find bottoms in here, then we will more than likely are expecting this index to bounce from here and start trying to push back up toward that 95 zone on the upside. Just a quick comment on the ISE Home Builders Index, which is a symbol RUF. We had a technical breakdown of the 725 area. At this stage, the window is open for it to go and test into that 650 to 675 zone. That is a critical level on the market, because if this is just nothing but a retracement, it would have to actually hold in those zones. Anything that breaks below 650 on the downside immediately opens the window for a retest of the bottoms below $5. Next here, I want to take a look at the ISE Natural Gas Index, which is a symbol FUM. We were looking for a retracement move to go all the way down into the 61 to 66 zone on the downside. We got that move, and we're slowly bouncing off of this zone. This would be a very logical place for the Natural Gas Index to actually make a bottom. That doesn't mean that we might not still see one more little leg of selling push it still lower before it pops back up within that blue box, but more or less this is where we would be looking for a bottom if in fact this zone does not hold in the bigger picture, then that would be very bearish for natural gas index. Next here, I want to take a look at the ISE Mini FTSE 100 Index, which is the symbol UKX. And more or less, we had a technical breakdown of this below the 420 level. There is still $15 room downside potential to the 400 zone. But the one thing that we want to stress is that we're sort of out here in no man's land at the same time as the S&P is at a major support line. If in fact the S&P does find the major support here and bounces, then it's quite possible that the UKX will kind of just have a reversal somewhere in this zone over here and start up higher. So we are watching very carefully what will happen in the S&P to get a gauge as to this, because it's very unlikely that if the S&P bounces that the UKX will have the conviction to make it all the way down to 400. So we'll be watching that carefully. That was your ISE Equity Index Outlook. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for participating in this week's session. Please join us again next week. For more information about Patrick Ceresna and to sign up for free index options trade alerts, visit www.optionsource.net. To learn more about ISE index options, visit us at www.ise.com/indexoptions.